Me? I don't know. Why? Oh, I don't know. I'm here. Oh. Hey. Good morning, everyone. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Today is Sunday, December 29th, 2024, last Sunday of the year 2024. My name is Stan Medina, and I am a board member of the Center for Spiritual Living in Visalia. I'd like to welcome everyone and any newcomers. Good to see you all. Let's see. Got a list here of what I'm supposed to do, and let's go ahead and go to announcements. Okay, we got a continuing cycling project that we have set up here in the corner, and so just bring your SRV plastic and aluminum cans. They must be rinsed. They must have the CRV logo. Lori Kathleen has volunteered to recycle them each Thursday, and we are making money and saving the environment doing this. So it's looks like it's a pretty successful endeavor that we are got set up. So continue the good work. Okay, I think the next announcement, Reverend Jack wants to do that. No, okay, all right. So, okay. So we're gonna go to let's see. Are we done with announcements? Okay, okay. I'm a newbie at this. So. All right. So we're gonna ask everyone to read the mission statement, which should pop up here. Okay, all together now. Center for Spiritual Living Visalia is the place everyone comes together, connecting in love and learning how to create abundant, joyful, and peaceful lives. And I think that's it. Okay, that's it. All right. Okay, now we're going to introduce the first song from
Put a little love in your heart.
Okay, put a little love in your heart.
Please sing along if you know it, okay?
Take it.
Because it's not the congregational song.
All right, there we go.
Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Another day goes by and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know, we won't let hatred grow. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see, wait and see. Take a good look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide kindness will be your guide. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place. And the world will be a better place for you, for me. You just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love in your heart.
Thank you, Todd and Kevin. Appreciate it. Okay, we have our diversity Sunday quote from Bonnie.
Good morning. Actually, in lieu of a quote, I'm going to tell you a story. And this story will be in the first person, and it's about Nelson Mandela. So this is Nelson Mandela speaking. Can everyone hear me? Okay, great. After becoming president, I asked some of my bodyguard members to go for a walk in town. After the walk, we went for lunch at a restaurant. We sat in one of the most central ones, and each of us asked what we wanted. After a bit of waiting, the waiter who brought our menus appeared. At that moment, I realized that at the table that was right in front of ours, there was a single man waiting to be served. When he was served, I told one of my soldiers, "Go ask that man to join us." The soldier went and transmitted my invitation. The man stood up, took the plate, and sat next to me. While eating, his hands were constantly shaking, and he didn't lift his head from the food. When we finished, he waved at me. I shook his hand and walked away. The soldier said to me, "Mandiba, that man must be very sick, as his hands wouldn't stop shaking while he was eating." I replied, "Not at all. That man was the guardian of the jail I was locked up in. Often, after the torture I was subjected to, I screamed and cried for water, and he came to humiliate me. He laughed at me, and instead of giving me water, he urinated on me. He wasn't sick. He was scared and shook, maybe fearing that I, now that I am president of South Africa, would send him to jail and do the same thing. And would do the same thing he did with me, torturing and humiliating him. But that's not me. That behavior is not part of my character, nor my ethics. Minds that seek revenge destroy states, while those that seek reconciliation build nations. Those are the words of Nelson Mandela.
Thank you, Bonnie. Okay, that was a pretty amazing story. Okay, now we're going to ask the congregation to read what we believe principle that's on the screen. So there we go. We believe the revelation of truth through our intuitive and spiritual nature, and that anyone may become a realer truth who lives in close contact with indwelling God. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, I'd like to ask everyone to stand, and we're going to sing the congregational song, I'm Choosing Heaven Today. And please join in.
That really helps. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing love today. I'm choosing love today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing love today. I choose compassion today. I choose compassion today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I choose compassion today. I'm choosing joy today. I'm choosing joy today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing joy today. I choose abundance today. I choose abundance today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I choose abundance today. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing, I'm choosing heaven today.
Listening to the book. So if you do nothing else, I want to invite you to go to your favorite bookseller and purchase the little book called This Thing Called You by Dr. Ernest Holmes. If you do nothing else, you will be aligned with everybody taking the class. But if you really want to go to the next level in taking the class, you will go to our website and register to be a part of this Zoom class that will meet on January 18th. We'll meet from 8:30 to 10:30 each Saturday morning for 7 consecutive weeks to take that deep dive into understanding this thing called you. Because one of the things that we are called to be in 2025 is we are called to be the demonstration that this stuff works. And what I mean by that is that this faith, this philosophy, this way of living will supplement, will complement, will enhance your spiritual journey as you transcend 2025. So I don't want to do it alone. And I know that there are some folks out there that want to be a part of it. It's really a reasonably priced class. So it's like $60 to register for the class. And so that's not even $10 a class. So that's the equivalent of going out to Starbucks and getting your favorite cup of coffee. Invest in yourself in 2025. Get off on the good foot and start the class right with spiritual principles and practices, and we will do this thing together. So that's kind of my commercial for that. I also have some exciting news for you. If you can imagine, a year ago today, we had no idea that we would be standing here in this formation of how we look today. Many of us affirmed more in 2024, and we did so without really even knowing what that might look like, but we were willing. And one of the things that I was willing to do was to come and support CSL Visalia as an acting spiritual leader in order to help the community transcend into whatever greatness is next for the community of CSL Visalia. And so come last June, I became your acting spiritual leader, and I am pleased to announce that I am going to become your spiritual leader and dropping the active for 2025. And I have reached an agreement with our leadership council. And so I am officially the spiritual leader of CSL Visalia in 2025, and we're going to do some stuff together. So I hope you are as excited about that as I am. And what I want to invite you to do is to be open at the top as to what that might look like and how we might do it. I'll talk a little bit more about that in my message. But for right now, I want you to just come to a very quiet place wherever you are. If you're seated in the chair in the sanctuary, feel the support of that chair beneath you. If you're seated in your favorite chair at home, feel the love and the support of that chair. And just get to the quiet place where your mind chatter dissipates. And any of that noise, any of that frequency that is staticky, unwanted, you just release it, let it go, and come to a place where you are reminded that you are safe, that you are loved, that you are supported, that there are those who truly were glad to see you today, that there are those that were just waiting to see your smile or to hear your voice. That is the good news. That is the reminder that there is only one God, one universe, and each and every one of us are aligned with that one God. And we here today on this last Sunday of 2024 proclaim that that oneness is made manifest through joy, understanding, and intelligence, for that is the truth of the divine. The divine is joy, understanding, and intelligence. And if that is the truth of the divine, however we define the divine, that is the truth of each and every one of us. And so we come to the end of this mythical numbered year that we call 2024 and proclaim it good. Whatever was a setback, we claim as a setup for something great in 2025. Whatever we had to let go of, we simply let it go, knowing that its greatest good lies elsewhere and may equip me to it. We give thanks for the music that surrounds us. We give thanks for the warmth that surrounds us. We give thanks for whatever message we are called to receive today and say yes to receiving it. And so I turn this day over to the divine for guidance, for love, for empathy, and the intelligence that we claim today. And if any part of this message resides with you, simply affirm it by saying, and so it is, and thank you, God. All right. So here we go. 2025. What are we going to co-create in 2025? Now, one of the things that I want to invite you to remember that our theme for today, that the message from today is about being open at the top. So if you need an image to conjure up in your mind for being open at the top, I want you to think about the teaching symbol that we use as the emblem, as the trademark, if you will, of this faith philosophy and way of living. Some people call it a V. Some people call it a cone. Some people call it, the thing itself. Well, if you notice about that emblem is that it's open at the top. And so if you think about being open at the top, it's a repository for whatever goes into it. And one of the things that I want to remind people that whatever we put in, whatever we allow in at the open at the top, will manifest in the garden below. And that's at the bottom of the teaching symbol. But in the middle of that teaching symbol, there's some stuff to do. So some of us might say the top third of the teaching symbol is the B. That's where we will proclaim what we want to be, what we want to make manifest, and what we want to see happen. If you think of that movie Field of Dreams, that's when they say build it and they will come. So in that top third, we're putting in all of our good intentions. We're putting in everything that we feel called to make manifest. Then in the middle of it, there's some doingness that has to happen. As Ernest Holmes used to say, you have to treat and then move your feet. Meaning you just can't have the idea of the thing and the universe will take care of it itself. You have the idea of the thing, and then you got to go do some stuff to make the thing happen. And you may very well have to be open-minded during that doing this part of it and do it a way that might be different than you've ever done it before. But because we are a faith-based community, we're okay with that. We are not afraid of that because we are open at the top. We are open to new ideas. We are open to doing some stuff differently than what we anticipated. I want to give you an example that we talked about in our Science of Mind, Let's Talk Science of Mind class this morning at 9:30. We talked a little bit about Post-it notes. Well, what I want to remind you of that Post-it note is that invention of that little notepad that has that little sticky substance on it was a mistake. That was not the inventor's intention for creating that. It was by accident that that thing came into being. They had put together a typical notepad, and instead of putting binding tape on it, they put a different solvent on it, and it sort of leaked into the top 1/8 of each little page on the notebook. And it was like, oh my goodness, that person should be fired. They made a mistake in their thing. No, they were open at the top to see it in a new way. And how can we use this thing? And it became the sticky note. It became the Post-it. 3M, the people that made Scotch tape and did the thing, invented the thing, it became their most profitable product. The thing that they never intended to create, but yet they let that setback be a setup for creating something new. So I say all that to say, as a church community, as a community of like-minded people, we have to be willing to be open at the top for growing this community in a whole brand new way. Now, I'm going to debunk a couple of myths. Any new minister that comes to town does not have 100 people in their back pocket, nor do they have the magical elixir in a bottle that will make anyone who ever went away be willing to come back. Those are two myths that do not exist. So what we are going to do, what we're going to be as a community, as open at the top, is to do things in a new way. We don't want anyone to come back that left. Their good lies elsewhere, may they quick be to it. Now, should they become curious about what we're up to and why we're living in joy, why we're manifesting some stuff, then that's okay. We can be like Joseph's father in the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat and welcome the prodigal child back into the fold. But we're not going to go get them. We are not going to go looking for them. We are going to put our focus on intention on enhancing our message, our manifestation of this faith, philosophy, and way of living in a new way. We're going to teach classes because one of the things that's essential when we're on a spiritual journey is to understand how our world got to be the way that it is. So we're going to go in there. We're going to do some due diligence into our own life because we know transformation is an inside-out job. The world that is out there is the painting that we have created to hold up a mirror for what is inside of each and every one of us. And so anything out there is only an opportunity for us to go within to see what we might do differently. And it may very well be just being open to a new idea, to seeing a different point of view. Because if you think about it, remember, our bigger vehicle, our bigger statement that we're proclaiming to the world as the Centers for Spiritual Living community is that we are called to manifest a world that works for all. Everybody. We're not going to send some people away to create a perfect world. We're not going to put gates up in front of our spiritual communities to only allow like-minded people in. We are going to be about the business of manifesting a world that works for all and doing our part. Which means we have to be really clear about our intention and our purpose. So here's a little game we're going to play just to see where we are right now. Look about the room that you are in right now. Look at all the things that are there. If you're looking up at the ceiling, look at the lights. What's the purpose of that light? The purpose of that light is to illuminate the room. Look at the art that might be on your walls. What's the purpose of that art? Well, the artist has a message for you, inviting you to see something within that art. What's the purpose of the musical instrument that's before you? It's to make sounds that resonate with your heart and soul. What's the purpose of the floor beneath you? It's to keep you supported. What's the purpose of the chair that you're seated in? It's to hold you up. You cannot look at any tangible thing in that room without some understanding of what the purpose is of that object. Even in the screw that holds the back of the chair to the frame of the chair has a purpose. Now, what I want you to do is look at one another. What's that person's purpose? Aha. Not as clear, is it? Now, you may look at someone like our beloved Donna and be real clear on her purpose because she is the glue that holds so much of what it is that we do together. You might be looking at Simon today and going, okay, her purpose today is to get this broadcast out to the world. We might see individual snippets of what another person's purpose is. But what I want to invite us to do in 2025 is to be absolutely clear on what our purpose is, what we came here to do, to be the demonstration that we are a part of the divine. To really understand that each of us has a gift that contributes to the tapestry of who we are as CSL Visalia. I hope that makes sense to you because we're being called into a time like none other. We're being called into a time to be the demonstration that despite what is going on out there in the world, we know joy, that we know love, that we know understanding, that we have empathy, that we can tap in to intelligence. There is no place that we cannot serve and be the demonstration of what's needed for a world that works for all. I talked to another friend this week and we were bemusing over this idea of, all this rhetoric that is happening in the world about banning books. And someone made the comment, let's open a chain of bookstore called the Banned Book Bookstore. The Banned Book Bookstore. And make it a celebratory thing. It would be a thriving business. People would want, people would want to go in and see what books are being banned in there. But if they walk in the door with it, they may very well pick up a book that's going to change their life or pick up a book that's going, there's no reason why this book should be banned. It could refocus, reimagine a setback to be a set up for something really good. Now, one of the things, and I love this example that was brought to me this week, many of us might be dealing with this idea, oh, woe is me. I got to cope with the setback that this last election didn't go the way that I wanted to. Well, we have some teachers to teach us how to cope with that. This is Diversity Sunday. And from the message that Bonnie read about Nelson Mandela, we are reminded that we are surrounded by beloved people that have been dealing with setbacks such as the one that many of us are expressing now. And they are looking at us and saying in the most loving Southern way, bless your heart. Bless your heart. We have been dealing with this for 400 plus years. But guess what? They keep choosing to see the light. They keep choosing to hold the faith that a better day is just down the road and around the next curve. There are teachers. Nelson Mandela is our teacher, that we can love our enemy. We can have empathy for them. Doesn't mean we agree with them, but we open ourselves at the top to understand how their world got to be the way that it is. Look at how they transcended that setback, turned it into a setup for a better way of living, and take that lesson for ourselves. We will transcend the next 4 years, and we can proclaim that we will be just fine. We got to hold on to that faith, just as these marginalized communities have held on to it, and say, we're going to sit back, we're going to be in prayer, we're going to let things unfold, but we are going to be the demonstration that we are in control of how we choose to react to the world around us. That's the one thing we have control over. Now, we have to be on watch, on high watch, because we may not want to react how our ego wants to react. And if you want to think about how your ego might react, just put yourself in a car on the freeway and have somebody cutting you off. And the first thought that comes to your mind and what you want to do about that, that's an example of the ego being in control. What we want to do when those moments occur, when we want to default and say, I'm taking my rightful position here, is it the divine right position? We have to take that breath. We have to take that time out and ask Spirit, Spirit, what is mine to be? What is mine to do? What is mine to make manifest? And allow Spirit's message to come through, not your ego's message to come through. We are learning as human beings to take dominion over our ego. Now, our ego, as I've often said before, is not a bad thing. Our ego is our survival mechanism that is within us. And we can be thankful that the ego has voiced its opinion and say, thank you for it. I got it from here. I'm going to turn it over to the divine. The divine always says yes. The ego most often says no. So we have to listen to the voice. We have to, one of the things that came up in our Let's Talk Science of Mind class this morning was the idea of the old radio dial, where you would have to dial in, tune in to the frequency that you wanted to hear. And some of us are of a certain generation that if that little knob got bumped just a little bit, there would be some static, there'd be some interference, and that message wouldn't be coming in quite so clearly. And so we have to be responsible. We have to move our feet. We have to do our due diligence and adjust that dial so that affirming message that we can have dominion over our life if we tap into Spirit comes in loud and clear. We can be really thrown off if someone really bumps that dial, and sometimes it gets down onto that naysayer channel. And that naysayer channel is the, oh, what was me? It will never be, it's going to be worse. It's never been this bad. This is horrible. This is terrible. Oh, we got to get off that dial. We got to turn right back into our home station, our home frequency that says, we are the joy, we are the light, we are the demonstration that we can make manifest a world that works for all. And it starts with our own world. We have this opportunity at the end of 2024 to put the files of 24 into our archives. Maybe that label at the top of that folder right now says, this is what happened to me in 2024. Well, we're going to peel that label off. We're going to put a new Post-it on the top of it, and we're going to relabel that folder, the gifts of 2024. The gifts of 2024. Because if we see everything that happened this year, knowing that there is a positive takeaway from it, we're open to seeing that positive takeaway from it. We're saying that we're willing to see it. Our ego doesn't want to see it. Our ego wants to dwell in, look what happened to me in 2024. Spirit is whispering to us, let's learn how we transcended what happened to us in 2024 and make a different choice in 2025. We're not just reacting to the world around it. We're taking dominion over our experience of the world around us. We can do this thing. Now, we are getting ready to sing Old Lang Syne as a song for bringing 2024 to a close. I want to think about for a moment why we sing that song. I want you to hear the lyrics as you sing it today in a different way. Because what you are celebrating, what you are lifting up, are truly the gifts of the year that just concludes. The memories, the things that brought you joy, the things that felt good, the things that you want to celebrate and hold on to forever in 2024. And also simultaneously acknowledging there are some things that we are called to let go of. Not because we don't deserve them. We deserve them or we would have never had them. But it's merely time to write a new chapter. To start with a blank page. To see a new beginning. To affirm something more wonderful. The gift of 2024 is the anticipation of the miracles that can happen in 2025. We all are called to be willing to look at anything that looks like a setback in 2024 as a setup for something magnificent in 2025, if we are willing. Now, here's the thing. Here's the gift of spirit. Here's the gift of God. If we want to dwell in the misery, if we want to sit in what my mother used to call your pity pot, we get to do so. You can languish in that just as long as you want to. But don't be surprised that nobody wants to come along and sit down beside of you. People are attracted to people who transcend the thing, whatever the thing is. And so therefore, I'm inviting you to do it differently in 2025. Celebrate 2024. Celebrate that as a community. We're ending this year on a prosperous, good note. We are ending this year as a loving community that's growing both in our sanctuary and online. and that we are going to be okay in 2025 and continue that growth. We're in this together, and together we are going to manifest some wonderful things. So I bid you thank you for making 2024 the year that it was. Thank you for the lessons learned. Thank you for the gifts received. And if you're like me, I can't wait to see what Spirit has in mind for us next. So, blessings, everyone. I'll see you on the other side. But right now, I'm going to turn it back over to Stan, our host, and I'll see you shortly.
Okay, we've got a song.
Old Lang Syne. Anybody that knows parts of this is welcome to join in.
What's that?
Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot in the days of old Lang Syne? For old Lang Syne, my dear, for old Lang Syne, we'll drink a cup of kindness yet for the sake of old Lang Syne. And surely you will buy your cup, and surely I'll buy mine. We'll take a cup of kindness yet for the sake of old Lang Syne. We too who've paddled in the stream from morning sun till night, the seas between us roared and swelled since the days of old Lang Syne. For old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind. Should old acquaintance be forgot for the sake of old Lang Syne? For old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind. Should old acquaintance be forgot in the days of old Lang Syne? For old Lang Syne, my dear, for old Lang Syne, we'll take a cup of kindness yet for old Lang Syne.
Thank you. Okay, this is conscious giving time, so I'm going to ask the two ushers that I've selected to come forward. Just stand here in front of the podium. Come on, Bonnie. And just kind of face the crowd, face the group. or face each other. I like that. That's pretty good. Okay, and we are going to read the prosperity prayer. Okay, here we go, and it's 2 pages long. So it's page 1. Okay, today I expect every good thing to come to me. For I know that divine abundance is forever manifesting itself in my affairs. I am keeping my whole mind and thought and expectation open to new experiences, to happier events, to a more complete self expression. Everything that belongs to spirit, I accept. Everything that partakes of the nature of divine reality, I claim as my own. I identify with success and I prosper in everything I do. As I give thanks for the good now flowing into my life, I gladly share that good with others. The more I give, the more I receive. I experience a deeper consciousness of peace and security, for I know that I am in the embrace of a warm, loving presence. My cup runneth over. I exist in limitless possibility. Thank you. Okay, so as the ushers go forward to receive blessings from all of you, if you're so wish to do, um, we're going to have the donate. There you go. We're going to have the donate information if you're online, and everything, anything you give is much, much appreciated, and will go far to keeping our center going and keeping this message alive to for the community and for everyone out there. Okay, we bless these gifts and give thanks for all the good that they will manifest, and so it is. It is. So I'll go and take those. Thank you very much, and thank all of you for these gifts. Okay, and it's time for Reverend Jack and his closing and benediction. All yours, Reverend Jack.
Thank you, Stan. I appreciate you so much. And I appreciate all of your willingness to do things in a new way. And just know that it is going to be good. I want to remind you one last time to bring your recyclables in. Keep a little bag next to your thing so we can have your bottles and cans and make them a part of our recycle effort, because we want to manifest prosperity coming to us in all kinds of new directions in 2025. We're not merely recycling at the center, we're actively, as a community, bringing together all of our recyclables into the goodness for all, where we're being spiritually fed. As you conclude at 2024, I want to invite you to take a look at, were you spiritually fed in 2024 from your experience of being at CSL Visalia? And if the answer is yes, is there a contribution? Is there a donation you want to make before Wednesday to say thank you, CSL Visalia? I want to give you a gift to get you on the right footing for 2025, because I've been fed here. What I have gotten here has been as valuable for any class that I might have taken, or anything else that would have nourished me. I wanted to write that little check so that when we send out our year-end letters in January, you can use that as your tax deductible gift to our nonprofit. I want you to think about that. I want you to think about what you're going to pledge with yourself and to your community for the year ahead, so that we can grow and prosper and do what it is that we're called to do. And if you don't know how to do that, that's okay. We can come together, register for that class, spiritual principles and practices, because the practices that are introduced to you there will not only transform your life, but it will transform this community together because there is a group of like-minded people doing this thing together. So if you're willing, come together. Let's do this in 2025. Let's anticipate the goodness that is ahead for us. And as we come together in the benediction of this day, we proclaim our thanksgiving for 2024. The only thing that we can say about 2024 is thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God. I survived. I transcended. I transformed in 2024. And I give thanks for that. Just as I give thanks today for the musicians that have served us, I give thanks for our host. I give thanks for our production crew. I give thanks for our leadership council and board of trustees. I give thanks for Spirit moving through each and every one of us today, touching us in a way that we needed and are called to be touched. Whether it is the inspiring music or the spoken word or the idea of seeing the light in one another's face, we know that our work for this last hour has been good and it is complete. And so when we get ready to move about this day, to go out into the world, we know and proclaim that we are the demonstration of the light, the intelligence, and the love that will indeed manifest a world that works for all. And so it is. So as we come together, as we do every week, I'm going to ask that you gather up, that you join hands and you feel that energy with one another if you're in the room. And if you're watching online, I want you to feel the energy coming through that screen to you right now and know that it is love. Know that it is reminding you that peace is possible and peace begins with us. I know there's somebody that needed to hear this message today, and you're the one called to share the link so they get to watch this message and be touched by it and to make a difference in their world. That's your purpose, to be the messenger of this faith, philosophy, and way of living. So I turn it over to all. Let there be peace on earth, and may it begin with me.
Now there is peace on earth. I know it begins with me. Now there is peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Now we walk with each other in perfect harmony. Yes, peace begins with me, and this is the moment now. With every breath I take, this is my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternal.